Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for today's Lunch and Learn. I am Erin Creighton, and I am the Adult Services Department Head and Assistant Branch Manager for the Fredericksburg branch of the Central Rappahannock Regional Library. Today, we're going to talk to you about fun, weird, and useful AI prompts. So we're going to start with the basic. What is a prompt? So this basically, all of the things that we're going to talk to you about, a prompt is kind of like a recipe for what you're actually putting into the chat box. And these actually are this is general advice that you could use in any generative AI platform, whether it's ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, or any of the other ones. A prompt is, like I said, the formula, the recipe that you use for when you're asking it for questions, when you're asking it for advice. When you're looking for the answer, you're entering a prompt to give the information that you're looking for. And the more specific the instructions, the better the output is going to be, the better your answer is going to be. So here, I really liked this image. I had Gemini make this. It's basically the four things that you need to ask for when you are writing a prompt. The persona is who is asking for the information? What role are you playing when you're asking for this information? Are you a party planner? Are you planning a party? Are you a project manager? Are you looking for the steps? Are you a private individual? Are you a chef? Is it for your job? Is it for work? What persona are you looking for to get the answer for? Then you have to think about task. What specifically do you want it? And this is, again, specific for Gemini, but this works for anything. What specific task are you looking for help with? What context could you use to generate a more specific result? Are you looking for a specific tone? Are you looking for it to be conversational? Are you looking for it to be professional? And then you also want to think about format. Do you want, if you're just doing a regular generative AI prompt, do you want it to be in bullet form? Do you want it to be in list form? Do you want it to be in paragraphs? Do you want them to use charts or graphs? Do you want them to create an image or a video? These are all the things that you want to ask, make sure that you're considering when you're writing your prompts, because again, the more specific you are, the better your answers that you're going to get from those chatbots are going to be. So some of my favorite useful prompts are editing prompts. These are some of the things that when I was preparing this program, I asked some of the other library staff, I was like, hey, what do you like to use AI for? And some of the answers that they gave me were, here's a document, give this to me in list format. Pull out basically the most important points and put it in a list format. Or you can ask it to change the tone from blank to blank. So if you tend to be like more casual and lighthearted in your emails or messages, but you really want something like professional, you can ask it to change the tone from fun and lighthearted to professional and, business writing. You can ask it to include examples, including citation links. So if you're looking for something, if you're doing research and you're like, hey, I'm looking for information on X, Y, and Z, please include citation links. That way you can follow the path back to where they got the information and check. It is one of those things where AI does hallucinate sometimes, and it'll give you the information that you think you want. So if you ask for links, it's a really easy way to avoid those hallucinations and that false data. A pro tip, again, make sure you be as clear as possible when you're asking, when you're putting in your question into the chatbot. That way you know that you're going to get the best information possible. Okay, so again, more editing prompts. One of my favorite things to do with AI is to edit for clarity. I always think that I make sense when I write my emails or my letters or whatnot. Having something else just take a once over to make sure that it's clear and that I'm as clear as possible, I find incredibly helpful. Again, you might want to edit it for tone. You can ask it to check for flow and readability. So if you want to make sure that it's laid out in the best possible way, you can ask it what it's missing from a proposal or document. So say you're writing up a memo or you're writing up a business proposal or a grant proposal, and you're like, paste the document into Gemini or Claude or ChatGPT. What's possibly missing from this? Provide it a link for what you're applying for, and it can give you that information back. Well, you're missing X, Y, or Z, which is really helpful. This is another one of my favorite hacks for using AI too, is cut down your text by X amount of percentage or to X amount of words. So a lot of times if you're doing like an essay submission, or if you're doing a grant proposal, or if you're writing something like a letter, an essay for college, they might have a specific word count for it where they're limiting it to 500 words, 1,000 words, something along that line. You can ask it to, give it something you've already written and ask it to cut down to match the requirements of whatever you're submitting it for, which is really, really incredibly helpful because I like to do is to paste it in, ask it to cut it down to the required word limit, but then I like to ask it to give me 3 options. That way I can pick and choose between the best of them, and maybe I take the first 2 sentences from the first one and the 3rd sentence from the last one, because it's editing my writing, but this way I'm still having that final edit, that final look-see over it. But that's another fun way of using it that's actually really useful. So again, you probably picked up on this, but AI really works best as an editor or an assistant, helping you with work you have already created, but you want to edit or tweak. It's useful. It's if you use it for everything, if you use it for all of your writing and ask it, create X document or write an email for this or do this, you're going to possibly lose your authentic human sounding voice, and it's going to sound very generic, which you don't want to do, especially if you're writing for business or personal or whatever. You want to make sure that you still sound like you. So if you ask AI to work as an editor or an assistant, that's going to help you be successful using AI. Okay, research prompts is another really fun way of using AI. Tell me 20% of a topic so that I understand 80% of it. A staff member shared that with me, and I thought, wow, that's really clever, because we all are interested in so many things, but we might not have time to really look into them. So this way you sort of get the gist of what it's about and know, okay, is this worth my time spending more time on? You can paste something into it and ask it to look for possible mistakes and give you a corrected version. And again, make sure that you ask it to include those citations and those links so that you can double check the information it's providing to make sure it's accurate. And then this one is a really fun one too. So ask it to act as a project planner, break down a task into clear steps with timelines and tools needed. So, that could be really fun. Again, if you were, doing something that you've never done before, or if you just feel overwhelmed by a project, you can be like, okay, I am doing X, Y, or Z at work, break this down into, 10 steps or as many steps as needed, but I need to accomplish it in the next 3 weeks, month, whatever. And it'll really do that for you, which is nice. So it'll give you a way to stay on time, especially if time management isn't a strength of yours. Using AI to help time management is a really fun and clever way of using it. Okay, so now this is another one that I thought was really kind of fun. Ask it for things that you should know, but you don't know that you don't know, which sounds kind of confusing. But for example, the example here is, I don't know what to ask if you are going to sell your house. Here are the steps I know, but what's missing? If you've never sold a house before, it could be very complicated. I actually don't know. I've never sold a house before. So this might be something that for me, I tend to look into a lot, and maybe I feel like I know everything, but maybe I don't actually know everything. So by asking, by putting it into AI and saying, hey, here's what I know for the processes of selling a house. Am I missing anything? It'll point out to you the steps that you are possibly missing and maybe save you money or time, which is amazing. It can actually, and then the things that you don't know, you can ask it, put it in a list format, break out the steps for how I would accomplish that so that you're working towards those things and filling in those gaps of knowledge. Okay, this is another work one, but I also found this fun. So this is my library professional headshot that was taken when I was hired. This is a really nice picture of me. I think it's a really nice picture of me. And, I was looking for a way to play around with this. So I asked one of the AIs to make it into an avatar for me. And I actually think it also came out really nice. You can also take like a casual picture of yourself and ask AI to turn it into a professional headshot for you. You might have to do a little editing or tweaking and ask it to make some changes slightly. But I think, you can take a casual shot, make it into a headshot, take a headshot, make it into an avatar. It's just another fun way of doing things at work to have these options. So if you're looking for a job, you can actually use AI to help you look for a job. We're going to be offering a class on this over the summer as well in August. So check out the website, librarypoint.org, for more information coming soon. But I thought this was a great one. Somebody posted this in a magazine that we recently read, and it says, I had an interview for a role that was a leap from where I was currently doing. I loaded the job ad into ChatGPT and asked it to run me through possible interview questions that I then voiced answered. They had the chat review the answers and repeated this until they scored highly. They made it to the second round of the interviews, which was kind of amazing, honestly. Good for them. So, again, so if you're looking for a job and it's a brand new position and you're like, I don't know what they're going to ask me at the interview, you can take the job description, take the ad that you applied for, put that into an AI and ask for what possible interview questions could come up on this for a 30-minute first-time interview. And that can help you prepare, and you can practice those questions to hopefully help you land that job. I just thought that was super fun and innovative way of using AI. So here's another way that you can use AI if you're at work. And this is sort of like breaking it down to how to write those prompts that we were talking about. So this is if you take the persona, the task, the context, and the format. And this is the example for a content marketer at a tech startup. So create a LinkedIn post announcing our new product, include a call to action, which is like a buy now or sign up or learn more sort of thing, and keep it under 500 words. So you're giving it the persona, you're a content marketer at a tech startup. You're giving it a task, creating a LinkedIn post. You're giving it context, it's a new product, you want a call to action, and the format, you want it under 500 words. So that's pretty neat right there. So it's, again, those 4 different parts of the persona, the 4 different parts of the prompt to hopefully have some success. This is another really good one. So instruction plus style plus limit. So summarize this Google Doc, insert the link there so it can see it, into bullet points using plain language and keep it to 10 bullet points or fewer. So let's say you were given a report that's full of lots of technical jargon and it's just, you're overwhelmed or you don't understand it and you just need a little bit of help to get through it. You can give AI the link to it. You can ask it to summarize it, and you can literally tell it, keep it simple so that I can understand it, and keep it to 10 bullet points or fewer. And that way it won't take you forever to get through it, which is such a smart work hack, especially if you're feeling like overwhelmed or if you have a lot to do or if it's brand new, All right, and then this one is kind of neat too. So this is more, again, this is to create a visual aid for something for work. So generate a header image for a company newsletter about AI trends in 2026. Use clean, modern design with neutral colors. Do not include any text. So I used that prompt, and Gemini created this image that you see on the screen. So this is the image that it created about AI trends in 2026. It has a modern feel to it. It's definitely neutral colors with the grays and the browns and the taupes and the silvery kind of sparkles. And it didn't have any text. And so you could use this if you were doing a newsletter or if you were doing a social media post and you just wanted an image that would go along with something that you were writing about AI trends in 2026. So again, more specific, the better, to get an image that really sort of works for what you're looking for. All right. So this is a way to do prompt refinement. So basically you're asking it to rewrite this customer email in a more friendly conversational tone and to remove any technical jargon. So these are some best practices. So you could say the original prompt, if you were looking to, you could maybe say, rewrite this customer email, but you're not giving it any context. You're not telling it who it's supposed to be for. You're not telling it what tone you want. And so it's not going to be as helpful as it could be. But if you give it a more specific prompt, customer email, friendly conversational tone, remove any jargon, it's going to give you that better email that you're looking for that you can easily share with a customer or with shareholders or board members or whatnot. All right, this one, here are a few examples of AI prompts that apply to some of the best practices. So, let AI help you with the prompt. If you are stumped and you are not getting the answers that you're looking for when you're typing in different things into AI, try asking it to help you. I need help drafting a prompt for an internal company survey about hybrid work preference. Can you provide one? That's basically asking AI to tell you how to use AI, which is a little funny, but it will give you some answers. Now, for this one, I would tweak it even a little bit more and maybe ask it for give me 5 prompts to help draft an internal company survey about hybrid work preference or something like that. Like, I like to give it specific numbers. That way I know what to expect, and it's not going to overwhelm me with too many choices, or it's not going to, only give me one option. I like to have a couple of options. So I find that to be really helpful and useful as well. Now we're going to talk about fun prompts. So when I asked the library staff, like, what other fun ways have you used AI? We've asked, we have had people say that they use it to help them write greeting cards. Maybe they get stumped and they don't know what to write. So ask it to write a heartfelt, heartwarming message for X occasion. Focus on gratitude, friendship, or shared memories. You can ask it to write a funny card, including a joke about their specific hobby or their getting older or their love of cats. You can ask it to write a super sweet message. Give me 3 options for a short, sweet, and sincere message for X occasion. Or you could just do something like kind of versatile. Write a, here's the tone, card for my whoever who loves, and put in an interesting detail. Keep it under X amount of words. Some people get overwhelmed by these things, writing greeting cards, and it can be really helpful to have somebody, to have AI just sort of make it as simple as possible. Now, this one I was really impressed by. So somebody told me that they have AI tell them bedtime stories. And I also found out that if you have Gemini for work, for professional, it will also read to you. I know some of them, if you have the app downloaded onto your device, will also read to you. But for the bedtime story here that Gemini created, I had Gemini also read it to me in Google Docs. So hang on one second, I'm going to hit play.
Welcome to this quiet space. Let go of the day, take a deep, slow breath, and allow yourself to settle. This is a simple story, designed not to excite or frighten, but to gently guide you toward rest. The images that accompany it are soft, tranquil cartoons, visions from a place of perfect peace. Part 1, The Silver Boat. Our journey begins not with an ending, but with a transition. The day is over. Its noise and motion are fading away, replaced by the cool, comforting embrace of night. Imagine yourself standing on a shore of soft silver sand. The sky above is a deep, velvety indigo, dusted with a million distant, unblinking stars. The air is still, carrying only the faint scent of salt and ancient stone. At your feet, the dark water laps rhythmically, a slow, soothing heartbeat. Gently tied to a small, smooth wooden dock is a narrow boat, painted a soft, polished silver that seems to hold the starlight. There are no oars, no motor. It is waiting just for you. As you step in, the boat shifts only slightly, cradling your weight perfectly. You lie down, supported by plush velvet cushions the color of twilight. The journey is effortless. You are safe, and everything is calm.
Okay, so that was an AI generated bedtime story. The images are AI generated, and that voice was AI generated. So I know that, like I said, there are some apps that can do it for you as well. But if you have Google Docs with Gemini, it will do it right from Google Docs as well. So that would be a really cool work hack too, where you could, multitask by having it read you a document while you, pick up your office, or you jot down notes so you don't have to read the document and stop to jot down notes. Just thought that was so neat when I found that out the other day. I was like, oh, that's so cool. All right. All right, so now here's one of our other sort of weird and fun ones. So you can ask it to explain physics to you in the tone of Dr. Seuss, for instance. So I'm going to attempt to read this. Please be nice. Here we go. In the quantum world, oh, what a strange place where particles zoom and zip all over space. They're wavy, they're shifty, they do as they please. They're not quite like apples or houses or trees. An electron can dance in more ways than one, in two spots at once. Oh, isn't that fun? Like a coin that spins, not heads or nor tails. It's here, it's there, its meaning entails a strange kind of magic, a twist and a turn. If you look too close, oh, what do you learn? For the more you know of its place in the light, the fuzzier it moves, zipping left or right. And sometimes they're buddies, these particles so small, they entangle in ways that can baffle us all. If one spins this way and the other does too, even if it's halfway to Kalamazoo. So welcome to quantum, the land of the teensy, where up is down and the small things get queasy. A land full of maybe, of wonder, of whim, where these particles play and things get slim trim. So if you are struggling with something and you think it might be kind of fun to try it in a tone of Dr. Seuss, you can do that. Maybe it makes things more easy to understand, or maybe it gets kids excited if you're a teacher and you want to, get them excited about science or whatever. You can also to have it explain it to you in pirate slang. Again, the things that we use the internet for are hilarious. Ahoy, matey. Think of AI like a clever ship's parrot that spends years sailing the seas, listening to every story, map, and sailor's tale it can find. Instead of gold doubloons, it collects mountains of information, books, pictures, and words, and learns the patterns in them. When someone asks a question, the AI rummages through what it's learned, a bit like a pirate searching a treasure chest of knowledge, and pieces together the most likely answer based on the clues it's seen before. But don't be fooled into thinking there's a tiny pirate captain inside the machine making decisions. AI doesn't truly think or understand the way a human crew does. It's more like a well-trained deckhand following complicated chats called algorithms. These charts help it guess which words, images, or answers should come next, based on patterns it's practiced during training. So when you ask it something, it quickly navigates those charts and delivers a reply faster than a cannonball flying across the high seas. That was AI explaining AI in pirate talk. All right. Last, I asked AI to tell me a joke. The first joke was, why did the scarecrow win an award? Because it was outstanding in its field. You can also, a staff member told me that it was like therapy with punchlines. Obviously, AI is not therapy. It does get to know you if you're logged in and you're using the same product over and over again, but it does not replace a healthcare professional. This is a funny librarian joke. So why did the librarian slip and fall? Because they were in the non-friction section. All right. And then lastly, my AI fail that I had to share with everybody. I asked it for a picture of a happy laughing book like you saw on the previous slide. And this is my lesson that I'm going to show you all for being more specific with your prompts. Here is my happy smiling book that is also sort of terrifying. I forgot to tell it that I wanted it animated, so it made like a human face on a book with teeth and all, which was not what I wanted. So that's my last slide. Just remember to also have fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this recording. Have a good day.